So see, in today's class we'll discuss about the parallel questions. Okay, as according to Manipal pattern, in end term or in midterm, parallel ka ek question will definitely come. Okay, first thing. So if it's in parallel circuit, there are two options. First option, you can use current division rule. Okay, current division rule would be very easy for you. If you know about the if you don't know about the current division rule, let's see what is exactly it is. Like suppose we'll have two resistors are connected in parallel. Like suppose this one is R1, this one is R2, this one is R3, and this one is voltage V. And how much current is flowing over there? That is I. And here the current flowing is I1, and here the current flowing is I2. So let us consider the I1 ka formula. We can directly get it by using current division rule. So I1 is equal to, क्या फॉर्मूला होता है इसका? टोटल करंट that is I multiplied by the opposite resistance. तो I1 का opposite resistance is how much? R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, this is the formula. We'll get it from the current division rule. Similarly, can you tell me, all of you, I2 का formula? Now the question arises, ma'am, how can we calculate I, right? Maybe if they'll give you the current source, then you'll get directly I, right? If they don't give you the current source, then you need to calculate I. Okay, so I is how much? I is the total current. So total current का क्या formula होगा? Total current is equal to total voltage divided by total impedance. Total voltage is given, total impedance or total resistance is how much? R1 is parallel with R2 plus R3 is in series. ठीक है, तो like see, this is the question from your question paper only, BT Manipal. In this circuit it looks like the same now. जैसे ही मैंने resistor based circuit बनाया है, it looks like the same. So in this they said evaluate the current and voltage across each element. Basically they are asking the value for I2, and they are asking the value for I1, and they are asking the value for I. So it's better to use current division rule. Okay, so according to the current division rule, as I just told you, I1 is equal to total current multiplied by the opposite impedance. This is XC. How? Because they have given you ohms. So XC, or we can say it's a impedance. So I1 we need to calculate, to uske opposite resistance is XC. How much it is? Minus J 11.55 divided by the sum of resistor which are connected in parallel, means 20, and this one are connected in parallel, so it would be 20 minus J 11.55. correct? Only you just need to calculate I. Similarly, now you tell me what would be the value for I. So now tell me, how can we get I over there? I is how much? I is total voltage divided by the total impedance. So for that we need to calculate total impedance. Total impedance is how much? These two are in parallel. So suppose this is XC, means minus J 11.55 multiplied by 20 divided by 20 minus J 11.55, right? इसको हमने सॉल्व कर लिया, प्लस दिस 10 ओम इज इन सीरीज. करेक्ट? सो इसको तुम डायरेक्ट भी मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हो, और यू कैन डू इट लाइक रेक्टेंगुलर पोलर वाला फॉर्म. सो फ्रॉम हेयर वी कैन गेट ZT. After calculation of ZT we can get current, and after getting current we can substitute it over here. Then we'll get the value for I1, and then we'll get the value for I2. okay, तो देखो 1 2 3 स्टेप्स में तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो गया. करेक्ट? नाउ दे आर आस्किंग voltage across each element. Voltage across each element means we need to calculate V1. V1 is equal to I1 into 20. we need to calculate V2. V2 is equal to I2 into minus J 11.55 and we need to calculate this voltage. So ये voltage कितनी होगी? Let us consider V3. So V3 would be equal to I into 10. Okay. Now this is also from your paper question. They are asking determine the total current. Total current is this one I, power factor, active power, reactive power and apparent power. So see, first of all we need to calculate total current. Total current is I. So this would one would be I1, this one would be I2 and this one would be I3. We'll have two options. One is we can calculate I1, I2 and I3. And after calculating, how can we calculate I1? That is V by R, right? Because all the three impedances are in parallel, so everyone having same voltage, and voltage they have given us already, that is 120 volt, right? So I2 is equal to 120 by XL, that is 100 ohm, and how will you write down 120 divided by, as you know, impedance is in which form? Impedance is in the form of R plus J XL. R in this case is how much? Like suppose this is Z1, this is Z2 and this is Z3. So Z2, if I'll write it in this form, then that would be 0 plus J100. Okay, don't write down direct 100, it would be in the form of 0 plus J100. Now can you tell me the value for Z3 similar? So that would be 120 angle 0 divided by 0 plus J100. I3 would be how much? 120 angle 0 divided by, tell me, 120 angle 0 minus J80. Okay, so for this case I1 is equal to 120 angle 0 divided by 800 ohm. This is I1, this is I2 and this is I3. Now how can we get I? I would be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Yes or no? See, basically we'll have two forms. Okay, one of the form is rectangular form, another form is the polar form. Rectangular form means J form, polar form means angle form. Okay, if there is a RL component, then we'll write down rectangular form is in the form of R plus JXL. If it's in the RC form, then we'll write down rectangular form as R minus JXC form. Okay, clear? Like suppose I'm taking one example. Like suppose we are having Z1 is equal to 120 plus J0. As I take this example only, what we are getting the value 120 plus J0, and Z2 is how much? 0 minus J80, right? So we want to divide it. We need to divide it now. How can we divide this in your calculator? You can directly divide this thing in your calculator without converting into polar form. For this, follow the steps. See, this is your calculator. First of all, press on, right? Then press mode, then press 2. Now your calculator will be in the complex mode. Got it? Now what you need to do, 120 plus J0 divided by 0 minus J80. So how will you do it? Then you can see the button over here, ENG, above ENG. So write down 120. See in your calculator, how will you do it? Up to here you will get your calculator into the complex mode, then put bracket is here, then 120 you will get it like this, then plus you are getting like you will press like this, and then you will press 0 I. How will you get I? By pressing this button. ठीक है? Now you need to divide it. So press divide, divide. Then again put bracket 0 minus 880 I. Now press equal to, then you will get the final answer. See, after solving it, we'll get it as 3 by 2I. If we'll press this button, then we'll get it in the form of 1.5 I, right? So you can write this down, this term 0 plus j 1.5. After solving, we'll get I1 value, I2 value, and I3 value. In the calculator, in the question, they'll ask you the current. So add it all these current, then you'll get the final current. Okay, clear? After solving current value, we'll get final current as this value. Now I'm rubbing all this. Can I rub all this? Now next we need to calculate power factor. Okay, so basically what is the power factor? Power factor you can write down, as you already know what is power factor. Power factor is equal to cos phi. And what is phi over here? Phi is the angle between voltage and current. Correct? So from this question we get the value for voltage. Voltage का angle कितना है यहाँ पे? How much is the angle of voltage? 0 degree now. And how much is the angle of current? That we need to calculate. जो हमारा final current आया है, that is in which form? Tell me. जो current आया है, we got the current value as 0.15 plus 0.3j, 0.15 plus 0.3j. Can we convert it into the polar form? Because after converting into polar form, we'll get a particular angle. Voltage angle is 0. Convert it into polar form and then tell me. ठीक है. After solving, you'll get current value is this one. If I'll draw the phasor diagram, voltage ka angle is 0. So you can mark it as 0 degree over here. Current ka angle is 63.43. So like not exactly, but around 63.43 angle ऐसे बनेगा. Right? So now this is the angle of current, this is the angle of voltage. So angle between voltage and current is how much? 63.43. So basically we'll get the phi value as 63.43. So we need to get cos phi. Cos phi is how much? Cos 63.43. That will be our power factor. Okay. So see, suppose if this is the case. Okay, so phi is 60 degree. How do we know about it? Draw the phasor diagram. Like this is 0 degree, as you know standard. 30 degrees something like here, voltage ka angle. 90 degrees here, current ka angle. Right? So how much is the angle between voltage and current? That would be how much? 60 degree. Okay? So this is how you can get the value for phi in each and every case. Parallel ke liye we'll always use this formula cos phi. Direct we can get angle. But if there is a series RLC circuit, then we'll use cos phi is equal to R by Z. So write it down this step in your notes wherever you are writing, because this is most important. Maximum student do mistake over here, that in parallel circuit they'll use to do cos phi is equal to R by Z. Write it down and mark cross that we don't do this in the parallel circuit. Okay, we'll use this formula only for series, not for parallel. In parallel circuit, always first we calculate phi, that is the angle between voltage and current. Current nahi diya hua, so we have to calculate current, then we'll get the phi. Okay, write down this point and mark, highlight. They are asking the active power, reactive power, and apparent power. So let me tell you the formula of all these powers. Active power is denoted by P, and its formula is P is equal to VI cos phi. Reactive power is denoted by Q, and it's equal to VI sin phi. Okay. Next is apparent power is denoted by S, and its formula is VI. करेक्ट. सो वन मोर थिंग जो यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट मिस्टेक्स करते हैं, लाइक वोल्टेज इज हाउ मच 120, करेक्ट. cos phi you already calculated. I is how much? कहाँ गया? I is how much? That is 0.33. Angle we don't need to consider in calculation of power. तो common mistake done by the student is कि वो angle भी ले लेते हैं. So write down this thing also, that we never take angle in calculation of पावर. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल तुम ऐसे नहीं लेना कि 120 एंगल 0 है मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 0.33 एंगल जो भी वैल्यू थी ये है, देन यू विल टेक cos phi. नहीं, ओनली इन कैलकुलेशन ऑफ पावर वोल्टेज का यू नीड टू टेक मैग्नीट्यूड, करंट का यू नीड टू टेक मैग्नीट्यूड, और फाई तुम्हारा एंगल बेसिकली यहाँ पे आ जाता है. ठीक है, तो राइट डाउन दिस मोर पॉइंट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे भी बहुत बच्चे मिस्टेक करते हैं, दिल टेक एंगल. कि कोई भी पावर इफ यू नीड टू कैलकुलेट यू डोंट नीड टू कंसिडर एंगल, ओनली यू नीड टू टेक द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द वोल्टेज एज वेल एज मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द करंट. क्लियर? See, cos phi you already calculate, basically phi is 63.43. So basis on that you can get cos phi. So cos of 63.43. Similarly, Vi sin phi would be 120 into 0.33 into sine into 63.43, and Vi is 120 multiplied by 0.33. Active power unit is watt, reactive power unit is VAR, and apparent power unit is VA. Write down the units as well for this case. This is again from your paper question only. Let's see third B. C, for the circuit shown below, calculate the total admittance. Okay, now see, this is the question. For the circuit shown below, calculate the total admittance, total conductance, and total susceptance. Then they are asking total current and power factor. Third wala part is left, I didn't cover it, that is from the different concept. So let's calculate first the second part, because we know how we can get the total current and the total power factor, right? Okay, so see, this is the next question. So Z1 value is 6 plus J8. How can we determine? By unit. Ohm hai to directly you can write down simply. And for the capacitor, we'll always take negative. So Z2 would be 6 minus J6. Z2 we know, Z2 we know, Z1 we know, right? We can substitute it. Now we need to get I. I, how can we get I? That is, I is equal to V by Z. V is how much? 200, and Z we need to calculate. How we can get Z1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2, right? So how can we get Z1 into Z1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2 is how much? Z1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. That would be 6 plus J8 multiplied by 6 minus J6, correct? Divided by 6 plus J8 plus 6 minus J6. So for this, you can do it in your calculator in the complex mode directly, as I just told you. For the denominator, you can add it directly. Real term is added with the real term, that is 6 plus 6 is 12, and imaginary term is added with the imaginary term, that is J8 minus J6 is how much? Plus J2. Now solve it for the numerator and tell me the value for this. So this is the final impedance value, we got it, ZT. So ZT we know, voltage we know. How much is the voltage? Voltage is 200. I is how much? V by Z. Voltage is 200 plus J0, and impedance we got it as how much? 6.97 minus J 6.97 minus J 0.16. So from here solve it and tell me the value for I. Now see, you have two option कि इसको ऐसे लिख लो या ऐसे लिख लो, 200 angle 0 and divided by this term. So I think this would be better because you can solve it directly in this case. अगर इस फॉर्म में लिखोगे तो then you need to convert it into polar form, right? So do it and tell me the value for the current over here. Now from this we'll get current, so we don't need to calculate I1 and I2 for this case. ठीक है, करंट निकालना था, we get current. Now they are asking the power factor. How can we get power factor? That is cos phi, that is angle between voltage and current. No, so we need to convert this into polar form, right? There are two things basically. One is in your calculator in normal mode. How will you get your calculator in normal mode? By pressing mode, then one button. If you want to put it in your calculator complex mode, then how will you get it? Press mode, then press 2. Okay. For conversion, like if you want to do rectangular to polar conversion or polar to rectangular conversion, your calculator must be in normal mode. Okay, like for this case we need to get phi and we need to get the angle value for the current. And how can we get the angle value? By converting it into rectangular to polar mode. So for that your calculator should be in mode 1, normal mode. But if you want to divide or multiply in rectangular form, then in that case your calculator must be in complex mode. Like suppose you are doing 2 plus j8 multiplied by 3 minus j9. So this is the multiplication in rectangular form, right? So for that your calculator must be in complex mode. This is most important point. क्या करते हैं बच्चे, complex mode में आ जाता है, then again they'll try to, at that mode only they'll try to convert rectangular to polar. Don't do that. Write down this important point. Okay. Okay, after converting this rectangular form into polar form, we'll get 28.7, angle is 1.29. So basically phi is the angle between voltage and current. Voltage का angle is 0, current का angle we got it as कितना है 1.29. So how much is the phi angle? Directly we can write down 1.29. So cos phi is how much? Cos of 1.29. Cos of 1.29 is how much? That is 0.99. Okay. So we'll get the power factor value as well. Understood? Next we need to calculate admittance, conductance and total susceptance. So let me tell you the formula of all these. Total admittance. Admittance is basically denoted by Y and it is equal to 1 by Z. Right? पढ़ा हुआ है तुमने. So ZT you have already calculated. उसको inverse कर दो 1 by ZT. Then after doing this you will get impedance, that is Y. ठीक है. Now next they are asking conductance. Conductance is G, right? Conductance क्या होता है? G होता है. And susceptance. Susceptance is basically B. ठीक है. So I'll tell you conductance is denoted by G and susceptance is denoted by B. तो इसका फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? What is the direct formula based on this? जिस तरह Z का क्या फॉर्मूला होता है? R plus JX. Similarly we'll have formula for Y, that is G plus JB. तो देखो ध्यान से सुनना, शॉर्टकट बता रही हूँ. After solving this 1 by ZT we'll get Y. Y की वैल्यू आ जाएगी. Y will get it in polar form. Convert this polar form into the rectangular form. और रेक्टेंगुलर फॉर्म में करोगे तो तुम्हारे पास इस तरह से वैल्यू आएगी. लाइक सपोज यू विल गेट आफ्टर कन्वर्टिंग इनटू रेक्टेंगुलर फॉर्म 2.3 प्लस j 70 या 90. तो यू कैन कंपेयर इट. तो इसके अकॉर्डिंग g की वैल्यू कितनी हो गई 2.3 एंड b की वैल्यू कितनी हो गई 90. इट्स नॉट द एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू, आई जस्ट टुक द रैंडम वैल्यूज टू मेक यू अंडरस्टूड कि यू ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेटेड ZT. तो उसको उल्टा कर दो 1 by ZT इज इक्वल टू Y of t, that is admittance. तो जो भी तुम्हारा y of t आएगा that will be in the rectangular form, या फिर polar form में आएगा तो convert it into rectangular form. Then you can compare it. After comparison you will get the direct value of g and b. You don't need to solve it further. ठीक है? This is the value of zt, right? So y is 1 by z. So can we write down as 1 plus j0 divided by 6.97 minus j 0.16? Can we get the value? We can compare it with g plus jb. By comparison, we'll get the g value, conductance, and we'll get the b value. So after solving, we'll get the value for y is this one, so g is this one, b will be this one. Okay.